I said, Auntie, I'm getting ready to go talk to Dad. And my aunt said, oh, you mean the man that raised you? What? What? Can you imagine as a grown up you hearing that?
Yeah.
For the first time? I'm like, what?
That wasn't your.
She go, to talk to your mama. My world is, now you don't got my world just got blew up. I already don't look like nobody in the family. Then you tell me the man that raised me. I go to my mama and I said, Mama, I need to ask you a question before I leave. Please be honest with me. I said, Mama, is Daddy my real daddy? Tell you what she did. Boy, and walked off. That's not an answer.
It wasn't the answer you wanted to hear, but you got the answer.
Boy, go on with that. That's not an answer. Yay or nay, yes or no is the answer.
Did you ask her again? Did you ever ask her again?
No.
That was it.
Because I knew she wasn't going to answer it.
But did you know deep down? Did you know?
No.
Wow, that was so deep. And I felt that because the exact same thing happened to me when I was 14. And one of my aunties, she was enrolling me in school. And something about my father's name came up, like what's your dad's name or whatever. And so my aunt, I can't even remember verbatim what all was taking place, but she named a man that was not the man that I had been calling daddy since I was 1 year old. And I'm pretty sure my world just started spinning at that time. And I did not understand how that would later affect me, that bit of information was a secret to me. Everybody around me knew that man that I was calling daddy wasn't my daddy except for me. And I remember I was a kid and I used to wonder why I didn't look like my brothers. And I used to wonder why my father, quote unquote, favored my brothers over me. I thought it might be because I was a girl. I don't know. But it wasn't until a little bit later I found out that I looked like my dad, my real father. And I look more like my mother now. But back then when I was a little girl, I looked a lot more like him. But I didn't know that. And so I think that's one reason why I'm kind of on a crusade on my platform about the importance of, marriage and having your children within your marriage and stuff like that. Because what happens a lot of times is these women, they have kids with one man and then they go on, especially if the children are really young and they don't know what's going on. And then that woman, the mother, she moves on to another man and nobody thinks to tell the child, oh, this is your stepdad, this is your adoptive father, whatever, whatever. And in a sense, you feel like you've been lied to. And another thing to consider when you don't have, your father, that's it's like a void in your life. And, so going back to what I said, that's one reason why I come down so hard on these mothers and these women out here, because it's ultimately the child who ends up hurting, or like this man finding out that the man that he was calling daddy wasn't even his daddy. I did a video on, what's his name? Kirk Franklin. Isn't that his name? Kirk Franklin, the singer. And he was, told a lie about his biological father, and his mother still did not want to fess up about that. Then you had Tupac, who later found out that the man that he was calling daddy wasn't his daddy. So yeah, I tend to be on a crusade about this because I lived it. And so a lot of, these single mothers, they want to come for me and be mad at me and stuff like that. But I have every right in the world to discuss this on my platform because, again, I lived it. I was calling a man daddy who wasn't my father. And that's not fair to children.